Hello, fellow Earthling. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Cosmic Coffee Shops, formerly known as Coffee Shop Chats. I am your host, Chloe the Cosmic Mage, where I invite you to join me in the Cosmic Coffee Shop. Now, I don't yet have a cosmic mug, but I thought you might enjoy this mug with me of a very high-looking alien. I invite you to join me with your favourite beverage of choice, hot, cold, or something else, and let me know what you're drinking in the comments so we can enjoy it together. I am filming here from Oxfordshire in the UK. It is 4 p.m. in the afternoon. It is the height of summer, but I am one of those strange earthlings who, no matter the weather, loves a hot drink. I have golden milk here, which looks like a very strange cup of carrot soup. I can assure you, it tastes like medicine and a hug in a mug. It's this gorgeous blend of spices such as turmeric, lucuma, ginger, there's some lion's mane in there, and I just mix that with a little bit of coconut milk and hot water. Beautiful. I think it's actually too hot for me to drink at the moment, so we'll wait. So for those of you that don't know, I am Chloe the Cosmic Mage. I'm the founder and creatrix of Mystic Hearts, which is a hotspot for quantum psychic energy healing, witch activation, past life healings, helping you to fully embody and activate your most badass self, and just to become a happy human, happy, healthy, grounded, vibrant, free, liberated, sovereign human. And so obviously this is my YouTube channel where you can find a lot of free content and you can get a flavour for what it is that I do, which is a lot of one-to-one sessions, group training, calls and courses, and also channeled artwork, and soon to come an in-person retreat. Shh, the details are coming very soon on that. So this is a weekly episode that I do, a long format episode in my own little cosmic coffee shop. This is my safe space. I've got this beautiful low ceiling here as my desk space is in a cottage. It's my focus corner where I come and I drink my hot drinks and I focus in. It's my cosmic space. And so this was formerly known as Coffee Shop Chats, and those of you that have been here a while will know that I am the queen of transformation. I am forever evolving and changing how I express myself, but also how I choose to share what I am sharing with you, my teachings and what I feel strongly about. So coffee shops used to be this candid space where I would just share with you quite intimate moments of my own healing journey, my spiritual journey, if you like. I find that it's more now just a conscious human journey because we're all spiritual, whether we choose to see it and believe it or not. It's just a conscious human journey and an unconscious human journey. I really believe those are kind of the black and white parallels. And then coffee shop chats evolved a little bit more into more of an educational space where I would put a lot more planning and research in, and that was super fun. We explored fears and topics like the dark feminine and archetypes and things like that, which is super juicy and something that I love talking about. And with a rebrand that I did recently, I've been really guided to expand the coffee shop chats to make it the cosmic coffee shops, because one of my superpowers is sharing very human things and human teachings, like about health, how to take care of your body, the food to eat, exercise, yoga, mental health, all of these things. I'm very confident in teaching around those quite physical human tools, which are so important and so needed. But I feel like I've given you so much juicy tools now. And my team, my guides and my team were really like, Chloe, it's time that you level up and start stepping into the more uncomfortable waters of talking more about cosmic, galactic and esoteric topics that I can't even say. Yeah, maybe some of the more obscure, controversial topics. I really want to unpack them here in the Cosmic Coffee Shop, where there are no laws, no rules. We don't abide by that. This is a space where we leave our ego at the door. We come in with an open heart, open third eye, crown and throat, and we are just like, let's do this. Let's expand our consciousness and just see where it takes us. So I really hope you enjoy this new journey with me. Yeah, it's going to be a weekly long format. So what I would love from you is suggested topics in the comments of this video. Anything to do with esoterica, occultism, anything to do with the cosmos, the stars, the planets, anything to do that's like galactic, alien, extraterrestrial, really strange, obscure spiritual concepts that you would like me to dive into, let me know in the comments, because that would be super exciting if we can really delve into this together. I'm excited, and I'm going to make this agreement with you that I am going to do minimal research for these topics so that I can allow myself to just express freely and actually just channel from that wisdom within, which I want to encourage all of us to do, to get out of that intellectual, logical mind and drop into our expanded multidimensional selves and our heart space. So unless you comment a request and I'm like, I have no idea what that is, I might look it up. But other than that, it's going to be candid. It's going to just be rough cut, and I will just be sharing whatever comes through with you. So that means I may not cover everything, and I think that's almost impossible when we are diving into the depths of the cosmos. It's infinite, it's expansive, and I just want to see this as a fun and open-minded exploration for all of you who choose to be on this journey for me. For me? Not for me, with me, for you, on this journey for you, with me. There we go. And on that note, I'm going to have a sip of my golden milk. Cheers! If anyone has any suggestions of where I can buy an awesome, like, big cosmic mug, so either like your classic green ET face or like a huge mug which just has like stars and cosmos on it, because I really want to have that for the cosmic coffee chats, that would be awesome. Let me know. So the topic of today's conversation, I've been in many conversations with men recently because I have been in the dating world. And a very interesting conversation has been unfolding recently. And a question was asked of me, what are your beliefs? Like, what are your current beliefs? And this was on the topic of spirituality, you know, existing in the universe. Like, what are your beliefs? And I was like, I actually love this question. I love that someone has held the space for me to share what my beliefs are. But I also thought, like, oh my gosh, like, my goddess, that is such a difficult question to answer in like a text or, you know, in simple terms. I feel like it's an unraveling of a lifetime of conversations. But I thought I would share what my current belief systems are and what my current perception is of this weird and wonderful reality that we're in. And also, please share, you know, what aligns with you and what doesn't align with you in the comments. I really want to encourage healthy conversations and discussions, when we're not arguing with one another. No one is right or wrong here, and I'm really encouraging this. I really want to encourage this, because I don't want you to watch this video and think, oh, because Chloe thinks this, that's the truth. Heck no. Heck no. What I believe is an amalgamation of many, many years of studying and immersing myself in many different spiritual and personal development environments, belief systems. Like when I first was on my spiritual journey, I was very much into Buddhism, like Zen Buddhism, which funnily enough, I feel myself leaning back into a little bit now, like 15 years later. Interesting. So Buddhism, obviously I'm a certified yoga instructor, so I've had a lot of the yogic philosophies, a little bit of Hindu influence. I've learned a lot about their mythologies and mysticism. I've read the Bhagavad Gita, I have read the Bible, I have studied the Quran, I have read many, many Buddhist teaching books, many books from Hindu teachers. I have studied witchcraft, I've studied Wicca, the occult. I've also more recently been studying Celtic and Northern European shamanism. What else? So much else. I've done healing work on myself. I have studied quantum energy healing. I've gone into the more of the new age world, and just I like to take it all in. I love podcasts. I love gathering all of this information and allowing it to almost pass through me, and then saying, actually, I respect that, but that doesn't align with me. But that really does align with what feels right and true in my heart. So I've done a lot of investigating, and I am forever a student of this universe. So I just want you to know that, no matter how much healing work someone does, to a certain degree, one's belief system is always going to be filtered through the lens of our own traumas. No matter how much we heal, what we believe in personally is still going to be coloured by our own experiences, our human experiences. And that goes for even the most, high up experienced people to a certain degree. There is so much clearing we can do, which makes us more of a clear channel. But what I'm sharing with you is filtered through my own lens of experience. So I just want you to just be aware of that if some things that I'm sharing don't resonate with you, that's totally cool. And I celebrate us for being such beautiful, unique, individual humans. So you may get triggered by some things that I say, and that's okay. I love a good trigger. Triggers help me to question myself, my belief systems, but they also help me to be like, no, I do believe in myself. So there is like a silver lining of everything. Even a trigger, even something that really pisses you off and gets under your skin, it's trying to reveal something to you. So I welcome you into this space with an open heart and an open mind as we dive into the strange reality of what the fudge is going on here. Why aren't we waking up every day and just being like, why am I here? What is this strange suit that I am wearing? Why do I have to pretend that everything's okay when I feel like a star exploding inside a cage? Right? Am I right? So, what I believe is that everything and everyone comes from source. Now, when I say source, I believe that it is a source that is so way beyond God of the Bible or God of the monotheistic religions. It is the ultimate energy, the ultimate loving force, unfathomable vibration of creation that is just ultimate bliss, because it is love that exists without separation. That's what I believe. And I believe everything came from source. Everything. The good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. And I believe that source wanted to experience polarity. And I believe that source separated. And for a time was separated in blissful harmony. And that divine separation could be described as divine masculine and divine feminine energy, not in the human biological sense. Polar opposite energies that are existing and coexisting in perfect balance and harmony. I do believe there was a time of that. But then I also believe that there's time of distortion, where the masculine energy wanted to separate and no longer coexist with the female energy. Again, I'm not talking about men and women. This is like energy and frequency, and it caused this shattering and tear in our deep, deep cellular memory and imprint of the masculine leaving the woman, becoming independent, and not the woman, the divine feminine, leaving the divine feminine, and she has this feeling of being left alone. And we are still, to this day, in this human reality, playing out that deep wound of abandonment. And that's why down through the ages, we've seen it playing out, the abuse of women, the witch trials, unequal rights for women. It has become the case of male and female here on earth in this lifetime. And I'm talking about human influence on earth, but then it gets complicated because we have other planets and other dimensions. So this is a super complex and multi-dimensional concept to even wrap our heads around. So I'm just going to stay very much in trying to stay in like a linear timeline at the moment. Part of me definitely believes that we as souls chose to come to Earth to be badass souls, because this is like a time where in the external reality it seems like darkness has the upper hand, or the forces of darkness have the upper hand, which we'll go on to more in a moment. So we've chosen to be here to get through this, to survive through this. I also believe that these forces of darkness have an influence over us, making it harder for us to transcend this human cycle of reincarnation. And I believe that is why our own spiritual journey and awakening of our heart and awakening to the truth of how freaking sovereign we are is of paramount importance, because it will not only free us on earth in this timeline, but it will give our souls freedom to choose where we travel when we pass from this timeline in this earthly existence. That's just my opinion. Where there are dark forces who have power, of course it's going to make us question our own power and our own sovereignty and our own freedom. However, I also do believe that Mother Earth, as a conscious planet, is going through an ascension herself. And for this to happen, for Mother Earth to ascend, and by ascend I mean have experienced a different frequency, so that she is experiencing a reality where her lands are taken care of, where nature is healthy and not being abused. Because we are here coexisting with Earth, in order for Earth to ascend, we need to help. We need to be a part of that co-creation. I believe that. I also believe that Mother Earth is so powerful that if she wanted to, she could just wipe out humanity and just be like, I've had enough of this shit. I strongly and truly believe that. But I also believe that she loves us and she deeply is yearning for us to ascend, because Mother Earth is connected to that divinely loving source energy, you know, heart to heart. We all are connected through our hearts. So I do believe that we are here for a reason, to help planet Earth ascend and become more of a free planet that isn't overrun by corruption and slavery and abuse and darkness and lies. I do believe we can ascend that. We have the power and the ability, but it's in us as individuals to find that warrior spirit within and say, okay, I'm going to do this. I don't care what my neighbours think of me. I don't care if everyone thinks I'm a crazy motherfucker. I'm going to do this because it's for the highest and greatest good. But it takes a huge amount of courage to step up to that soul agreement. But I do believe that. And I believe that one of the ways in which humanity on Earth is going to transcend and heal is through relationships. And this is where it gets really interesting, because we think of that tear, you know, that separation, that abandon, that cosmic, galactic, energetic abandonment wound that is so deep into our cellular DNA structure. We're seeing that playing out in the world today. Everyone is pointing the finger and blaming each other. It's because you're this religion, because you speak this way, because you believe this way. We are playing out in real time the wound of separation. And how do we heal the wound of separation? Coming together in co-creation and love and unity. And that doesn't mean walking around singing Kumbaya. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. It doesn't mean that the struggles and the highs and the lows and the problems go away. No, it means that we actually, as individual humans, choose to start coming together and finding solutions. We stop letting a very, very small minority of powerful individuals control us and tell us what to do and tell us who's right and who's wrong. And, oh, let's just drop bombs on this country and mass murder loads of people. We have to stop agreeing to that and come together in love and in unity and in compassion for fellow souls and beautiful creations of source and love, of energy, and seeing the divine in one another. Because Mother Earth, she has oceans of emotions. Just like us humans, we are made up of, what is it, between 70 and 80% fluids, like water. We are emotional beings. We are here to heal emotionally. So a powerful way for us to start that is to start healing our emotional woundings that we have with ourselves. And then we can start loving others and accepting others and stop blaming and stop pointing the finger. And then we can empower each other and come together in co-creation and build this world that may even be the smallest, tiniest glimpse of hope, or completely obliterated in some people's consciousness. We can make it happen, but we have to believe in it. And so let's get on to that. There might have to be a part 2 of this. If you drop points in the comments that you want me to go into more detail in, because for a heavy topic like this, I don't want to make it too long. I want to just get chunks of points across, and then we can dive deeper if you want me to. So let's talk about beings. I've talked about forces of dark. Okay, so we talk about the obvious. So the powers that be, like I said, who are directing wars, who are, creating the control systems. There's still global poverty and hunger and starvation. Even in the UK, we have this thing called the cost of living crisis. Like, most people with an average job can't even afford to live right now. Human rights and birthrights are absolutely not being respected. So the forces and the powers that be that hold that power in their hands, I believe to be parasitic entities. So they are different from most souls in human forms, in the way that they have chosen to feed off fear, greed, control, and suppression, rather than, as most humans, most souls, deep in their hearts, if they had the choice, would choose love, kindness, compassion, abundance, forgiveness, generosity. That is the only difference. They are beings that their brain just works that way. They feed off that. Some people call them reptilian. I prefer parasites, because reptiles, like you've got dragons are reptilian. I personally see dragons as beings of light. So I prefer to call the forces of dark parasites. Parasitic beings that feed off low vibrational energy. And so everything that they do, everything that they create and put out into the world, is to amplify those low vibration energies that they feed off. So that's why, they push alcohol, fear in the media, wars, separation, even laws, taxes. All of these things have been created like claws of imprisonment to keep us in a perpetual loop of fear. What happens if the larger majority of humans start deciding that they are not afraid anymore? Eventually these beings will not have anything to feed off. And this is just what I believe in. So the power will dissipate. They won't have the money anymore, because we'll recognize that actually we get to keep our money. We are sovereign beings. It's our birthright to be abundant. We can put money into land and community. Taking money away, we take their power away. When we're not afraid anymore, they can't control us anymore. So those dark forces will begin to diminish. I heard a theory recently that they might even move to a different planet. Who knows? And I'm not saying that I wish another planet to be under a controlled slave system, but perhaps there's another planet that needs to learn how to ascend. This is exactly what we're doing, I believe, on Earth at this time. We are learning individually and therefore collectively how to ascend from fear and into authenticity, into liberation. I don't want to say only love, because it's not only about love, because if it was only about love, we might as well merge back into source consciousness. We still want to be experiencing each other and the whole spectrum of emotions and problem solving. Like, we have this intelligent human brain and mind that wants to solve problems, that wants to help others, that wants to build things, be creative geniuses, but we are being stifled by this system that we're being held in by the dark forces. So I truly believe that it is totally in our capability to break free from that and totally abolish the system as we know it and start building on our own. Now, will this happen in my human lifetime? I'm 36 years old. I don't know. All I do know is that I can do my absolute best to stay true to what I believe in, break myself free from fear, limitation, liberate myself, take my power, my abundance, and my sovereignty into my own hands, no matter the consequence. And be as kind and as loving and as warm and as authentic to every human that I meet as much as possible. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So that's my belief system on where we're at and why. Obviously, I've skipped so much about ancient civilizations and how I believe humans came to be. By the way, I don't believe in evolution. I believe that it's just something so different to that. I believe in frequency. I believe in galactic and extraterrestrial implanting and influence. That's a whole different topic of conversation. We're going to go more ET on another chat. But I believe everything that we have been taught about humanity is a lie. Basically, that's a great place to start. Whatever we're taught in schools is a lie, because everything is owned by that small puppeteer that wants to keep us in the confines of the system space. So that's a great place to start. Just be like, okay, so if everything I've taught has been a lie, then I get to learn and I get to get curious and tune into things that feel true to me. And start asking questions, start getting curious. So that's that. I believe that I believe that every single human is psychic, because we are all multidimensional. We are all souls. I believe that we are all psychic, and it is up to the individual whether or not we choose to fully accept and embody that multidimensional pathway in this lifetime. We are all psychic. There is no one who is more advanced than others. We may find, due to current lifetime or past life influence, that we have clairs and gifts that feel stronger than others. We all have our gifts. We all have our talents. That can be to do with astrology and all different kind of influences, right? We are all stardust. We are all made up of the cosmos, and we all have our own individual and unique cocktail of magical stardust to bring into this reality. But we all have gifts and abilities. There is no hierarchy. There is no amazing guru. What we can respect is masters. I don't really like that word master, but for example, if we see like a Zen master, or, someone who has dedicated their entire life into their spiritual or psychic advancement, that is very respectful. It's not necessary, but the more that we devote ourselves to our magical multidimensionality, the more we take it seriously, the more that it will expand naturally. So I believe that everyone is psychic, 100%, everyone. There is no one who is more special or more gifted than anyone else. Not going to believe that. I believe that we all have guides. I believe that most of our guides are us, our souls, existing in another dimension. So it could be, you know, a version of us from the future that is talking to us because they have this, you know, advanced ability to time travel or to connect to multiple versions, and they are trying to help us. Here on this timeline, it's like we are a soul doing multiple missions. It's like this crazy multi-dimensional video game where we are learning and we've got different tasks and different levels, and we're like on level -100 frequency on the earth plane right now, where we have to rise above the darkness. Right? And it sounds crazy, but I really believe this is the reality of it. And I believe that, you know, our guides, whether it be a dragon or a human. Also, a lot of people believe ancestors are past life versions of us as well. I do believe that everything is us. I believe in angelic beings, ascended masters who are like energy masters. They've mastered energy, and therefore they are able to travel a lot more freely across dimensions. And just like we have very low vibrational beings who we can come into contact with or even under influence with when we lower our vibration. So that's why for me, I'm very careful about what I consume. Don't drink alcohol because that automatically drops me down like 10 levels of vibration. Even the words that I use, I mean, I know I curse more than I should, but it's all of these little things add up to our vibration. And everything is frequency. Everything in the universe, the multiverse, and the infinite verse is frequency. Just like a musical scale, it's frequency. And we have this amazing ability as a human to travel all the way up and down the frequency, from the lowest of lows to the highest of highs. So that is a superpower. It's truly a gift to be in a human body. I believe that. As hard and as heart-wrenching and insufferably exhausting it can be at times, I do believe it is such a gift and a miracle to be able to experience the multidimensionality of being a human in this physical form, to be able to feel emotions, pain, but then elation and love, actually feeling love as a human. How beautiful is that? And I believe that there are other versions of our soul existing on other timelines who are looking at us and they're like, wow, I'm just like so happy that my soul is getting to experience being a human right now. So that's guides, angels. I believe that gods, goddesses, deities, things like that, we try to humanize and conceptualize them too much. When, for example, if I believe that I'm channeling Lilith, let's say, the embodiment of the dark feminine, like the bringer of justice, that's an energy, it's an archetype that we call in to embody within ourselves. Do I believe it to be a god, a goddess, a deity, to be like a physical manifestation, like a person? Personally, No. We as humans love to create imagery, and I'm all about that. I'm a creative person. I love that. But I believe it's an energy, like an energetic imprint or an archetype that we can call upon to activate that imprinted energy within ourselves and use it as we wish. And of course, there are dark archetypes and there are more angelic archetypes. It just depends what our intention is and what we're using it for. Again, I don't believe it's good, bad. It's a scale. And that goes without saying. There are certain human acts like taking a life that we all know is morally wrong. We know in our hearts what is morally wrong and right. But there is a time and a place to call upon dark energies. Dark energies are very empowering. They can destroy parts of ourselves that are ready to be released. I believe that humanity really needs to let go of this separation of darkness and light and embracing all and recognizing that what is of most importance is the intention that we hold in our own hearts and why we are choosing to speak or act or live in a certain way, reining all of that responsibility back into ourselves. Because we are in a time when our consciousness is being drawn out from us. So one of the most soulful, rebellious acts that we can do is draw our consciousness back into ourselves. Because the only way that we're going to repair our relationship with others on this planet is by repairing the relationship that we have with ourselves. And talking again about the dark forces, the powers that be, let's say the governments, the world leaders, and any other kind of insidious, malevolent forces that are kind of what I call the puppeteers on Earth right now. I don't believe that they should be wiped out. I don't believe that they should be exterminated. I don't believe they should be gotten rid of. I believe that we need to try and understand them. We need to understand what makes a being want to feed off fear, greed, and control. And how amazing would it be if we learnt a way to help them? I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, that would be a freaking way forward of humanity. If we flip that switch and we're like, dark forces, we're not going to take your life away. We're going to see if we can reprogram you with love. We're going to spread the virus of kindness. I hope you enjoy this conversation with me, because I totally understand that when we go down these rabbit holes, when we even try or attempt to open our minds to these absolutely unfathomable, infinite concepts about time and about the planets and about God and about consciousness, it is so expansive that it can feel so overwhelming. But at the same time, it can be a really fun journey. It can be fun. And I've actually found that by allowing my consciousness to expand and explore in this curious way, it's taken a lot of the fear out of me, and just realised, like, oh my goddess, like, there's no right or wrong. No one knows what the hell is really going on here. We all know that there is something way, way bigger out there than what we are being told or led to believe on Earth at this time. And I just think you're a freaking badass, and I want you to know that. And I want you to know how much freedom and joy comes when you just put the middle finger up to everything that you've been told, and you're like, I'm not doing that anymore. I no longer subscribe to the system, to the cultural and societal norms. I'm just going to fly my freak flag and celebrate life. And I'm here with you. Let's unite as witches, weirdos and whimsical badasses. I'm sure that there is so much that I've left out here. Yeah, please let me know if there's any topics you would like me to dive into, a certain planet, a galactic race, astrology, the cosmos, extraterrestrials, the occult. Let me know. Let me know, because I want to talk about things that are interesting and exciting to you and maybe a little bit taboo. That's what we're here for. So I hope you've enjoyed this conversation with me as much as I had today. And please remember, stay curious, stay open-hearted and open-minded. What I say might not be true to you, and what is true to you may not be true to me. And I love that for us. Let's explore together. Cheers, beautiful earthling. Until next time.